To save money,
you need to make smart money decisions. We'll help you spot the best deals
while avoiding costly mistakes.
On Channel 9. Central Florida's chief meteorologist, Tom Terry.
Severe weather is always just around the corner. So before, during, and after every storm, I'll keep you prepared and safe.
Tracking storms for 29 years.
Combining my unique knowledge of the area with the technology of Severe Weather Center 9, I'll give you early warning of severe weather and accurate forecast for where you live.
Your severe weather expert.
Your safety is my top priority.
Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry on Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Get important breaking news updates when you download the free Channel 9 News app. This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 10 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
Tonight on Eyewitness News, we'll be taking you through everything you need to get prepared for the cold weather rolling in tonight. We're expecting temperatures in Central Florida to hit record lows.
Our bitterly cold temperatures and our even colder wind chills are dropping by the hour. I'm updating just how cold it's going to be first thing tomorrow and how long we're going to keep this colder than average weather pattern with us.
I'm JJ Burton here at Lake Eola Park, and it's empty. That's because the cold weather is here. And coming up, are you prepared and how have you prepared? You remember the 5 Ps. We're going to remind you of those coming up.
And it's already cold now, but guess what? It's going to get even colder by the morning time, and we're expecting record lows here in Central Florida. Good evening, everyone. I'm Q McCrae, and these are some videos that were sent to us on Facebook. Now take a look.
Oh,
snow
yeah.
flurries. Tom, that's snow if I've
flurries.
ever seen it.
Yeah, just really, really light. I've been watching the radar all evening long, and this is so hard to pick up. We don't even pick it up, but just a few flurries. That's mainly on the north side, Umatilla, New Smyrna, Port Orange.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah, so I appreciate everyone. Thank you, Q. Everyone who sent me the videos, passing along to you. Not much, okay, but we only get this about every decade or so, and we'll take it while we have it, I suppose. Right now, it is still getting colder, dropping about a degree an hour here so far. 35 in Orlando. Dew point is 14. This is the amount of moisture in the air, and it's really, really low. This could drop down to 5 degrees on the dew point, which means we're not going to drop to 5. It just means extremely dry air. And right now, temperatures already, we're at freezing up in Marion County, so the clock has started on your freeze, and we're down to around 32.5 in Apopka. I just checked the backyard, so it is getting cold in a hurry. And if you've been outside, the winds are ridiculous. It was gusting up to nearly 50 miles an hour earlier today. We're still in that mid-30s gust range. And when I show you the wind chill in just a minute, it factors in based on the kind of the steady temperature, the steady wind, not the wind gust, okay? So these sustained winds here, 23, 24 miles an hour, kind of giving us this wind chill around 23, 24 degrees. Feels like 19 in Ocala, 24 DeLand. So we're going to keep you updated on all this, but extreme cold warning is certainly going to verify here with temperatures dropping below 20, wind gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour during the overnight period. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll be roughly 25 degrees. I just checked future track models, and they're all showing about 24, 25 for a lot of Central Florida. A little colder up here to the north. Hard freeze likely. We're going to be updating over the next hour the things you should be doing here at the last minute. Hopefully you've already got it done to get you through this, Q.
Yeah, Tom, you've been warning us about this cold weather, and here it is. Oh my goodness. Now listen, if you're out there right now and you see anything frost related, snow related, ice related, don't worry about it. But we do want you to take some video of it and send it into our newsroom. And you can do that by either scanning the QR code on your screen right now or by going to our website, WFTV.com/share your pics, or you could also email them to us. Our email address here is news@WFTV.com. And as we track these temperatures, you'll hear Tom and other meteorologists on our team here talk about warnings, watches, and advisories. But what do they actually mean? Well, some of the ones we're expecting to see this weekend include a freeze warning, which is when temperatures are expected to be under 32 degrees for an extended period of time. And an extreme cold warning is when the wind chill hits 20 degrees or lower. We're also anticipating a wind advisory, which is issued for sustained winds of 30 to 39 miles per hour or more. And on the coast, you may see gale watch. Well, that means the winds at sea are in the range of 39 to 54 miles per hour. And you'll hear a lot about wind chill, but that tells you how much colder it's going to feel outside than it actually is. According to the National Weather Service, frostbite and hypothermia risks are present when the wind chill dips below certain numbers. And hypothermia happens to be the most common killer during winter weather. It can even occur when temperatures are between 30 and 50 degrees. And if your clothes are wet, it becomes even more likely. Severe Weather Team 9 has been covering every angle of this historic Arctic blast to make sure you are prepared. And now that the extreme cold weather is here, we want to once again remind you of the 5 Ps of winter weather preps: people, pets, pipes, plants, and pools. And Severe Weather Team 9's JJ Burton, he's live right now for us in Orlando at Lake Eola. And JJ, you're outside feeling the temperatures, they're already dropping.
Yes, it's cold. It's cold. I'm jealous of you all back there at the studio. You can see there's barely no one out here right now in the park. There was one guy we saw walking his dog. Those are most people that are out here. People are walking their pets because they're, making sure they got to do all that. But again, also, are you prepared? Again, back to those 5 Ps. Remember those: pools, pets, people, as well as pipes and plants. Stay home and stay warm. I can't wait to do just that, to get home and warm. Also remember, practice fire safety. You want to make sure you are doing that safely as well, because of the cold weather. People want to, put fireplaces and stuff like that on, but make sure you're doing everything safely. Reporting live from Lake Eola Park in downtown Orlando, I'm JJ Burton, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, JJ, stay warm out there. Now, of course, you can stay up to date on everything involving the weather today and get important updates just like this one by downloading our free WFTV weather app. Now, if you plan on taking the Amtrak this weekend, the cold weather may put a small dent in your plans. The company is warning customers that there could be delays all weekend long through Monday, and it's because of the weather system going through the East Coast right now, as well as last weekend's ice storm that hit a good portion of the country. Amtrak says customers can request a refund or rebook their travel plans. And it isn't just Florida seeing these frigid temperatures. These pictures were sent to us from Savannah, Georgia, where, as you can see, snow was falling earlier today. It's not a ton of snow on the ground, but it's enough for it to stick together and build up just a little bit. Now, the Arctic blast could impact several events this weekend, including the Mount Dora Arts Festival. The major event typically attracts thousands of people over the weekend. Almost a dozen vendors have already canceled because of the weather. The city says the event will still go on as planned, even though it's going to be colder outside. Wind gusts could hit 35 miles per hour tonight. While many focus on the temperature, experts warn the wind can make your pipes freeze even worse. Now, as Severe Weather Team 9's Nick Papantonis reports, a simple towel and a dripping faucet could be the best defense. And it's gonna be cold, just like it was in this video. Take a look at this. Now, our team was able to pull up some old footage from 1977 when Orlando hit 24 degrees on one day in January. The biggest difference here, though, is that it's not expected to snow in Orlando proper like it did back then. But as we've shown you, there are portions of Central Florida that are seeing some flurries right now. Now, if you'll be feeling that cold weather tomorrow, but so will your pets, so be mindful of that. Coming up, see how shelters around Central Florida are taking care of animals to make sure that they're settled in during the cold spell. And with the cold weather rolling in, you may think about turning on your heater as well. Coming up, the impact this could have on your monthly bill.
Yeah, our heat strips use a little more power than the compressor only outside. Right now, we're 19 on the feels like up in Marion County. This is before you get a wind gust. It feels even colder with that. And it's just 10 o'clock. We're going to be updating what to expect through the overnight hours. And are we going to get any more of these snow flurries? We'll talk about that.
Sky Witness 9 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, bringing you closer to the scene during live breaking news. Sponsored by Attorney Dan Newland. Prescription drug prices are on the rise. For some, it's become a struggle to survive.
Healthcare is expensive.
Action 9's Jeff Deal reveals how to find deals on the drugs you need to stay alive. Live Monday at 5 on Eyewitness News.
It's a weather alert weekend as the coldest weather we've seen here in years will hit Central Florida with an Arctic blast. Stay with Severe Weather Team 9 for the latest updates, the timing, and how you can get ready. Plus, download the Channel 9 weather app for the latest freeze alerts.
Sky Witness 9 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, bringing you closer to the scene during live breaking news. Sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
The cold weather coming in may impact a lot more than just how comfortable you are. A lot of people will be turning on their heaters this weekend to stay warm, and that could leave a big dent in your bank account. As Severe Weather Team 9's Sabrina Majori reports, turning on that heater is going to drive up your energy bill. Staying with weather now, we have certified chief meteorologist Tom Terry with us here tonight. And buddy, it hasn't been this cold in a long time.
Yeah, it's cold out there. You know, I was thinking as I was getting my wardrobe together, I'm like, you know, it would be a jacket off kind of day, but no way I'm doing that. So this is my version of jacket off. Hurricanes coming, but no, it's just cold. Quarter zip time. It's Saturday night, right? Weather alert day continues tonight and tomorrow night as we have cold air. It's 35 and dropping. The winds are still pretty gusty. So by midnight, just about all of us will be at freezing with wind chills colder than that. And the winds will keep up through the overnight. But still a hard freeze in the morning. It is so hard to get a hard freeze. Normally when we do, it's under clear skies and calm conditions. That's when we get maximum radiational cooling, as we call it. But to get 25 with a wind, that's hard to do, and because of that, it's really going to be a cold but sunny day tomorrow in the 40s. Right now, we've already hit freezing and counting. It's now freezing up in the Rock Springs Ridge area and Apopka, so we're right on that 39 or 32 and a half, 30 degrees. So that's just spreading south. The wind chills, again, are cold and getting colder. Now, we had some great videos, and we'll show them to you again here in the next half hour, but you can see the cloud lines as they came through up around Jacksonville. We had just a flurry or two, but notice how the clouds have begun to move out. And even if we had those clouds still, the dew points are really dropping fast. The lower this number, the drier the air. We're going to have a dew point of about 5 in the morning. Incredibly low. I don't think I've seen a dew point this dry here in Florida. It could be in the negatives up north. So that just shows you there's no moisture out there. So if your nose is running, you've got itchy stuff, it's because the air is extremely dry. Now, for the overnight hours, 20, 23, 24, 25, and we're going to be below 28 for probably, I don't know, 6, 7 hours. So that hard freeze is really going to set in. So before you go to bed tonight, go ahead and start streaming water at just a sink or a bathtub inside your house. You don't have to run the hot water, just the cold water, and you don't have to run much, just a stream. I've already turned my pool on. So that's something else, and already covered up the water softener and the exposed pipes. I got that old pool noodle out, cut it up with my son Ryan, and we got everything all bundled up there. The plants are bundled, so we'll see what happens tomorrow morning when we get up. Here's Mount Dora, where they had a decent day today, but it's going to be cold early on, so just bundle up if you're going to be heading out there for the Arts Festival. Such a nice festival, too. Here is St. Cloud, back only into the 40s, and after the record low tonight, we're going to set a record for the coldest daytime high temperature for a lot of Central Florida, and that is colder than the normal low temperature is. So we're running about 20 to 25 degrees below average. Monday is the second night in a row of a freeze and possible hard freeze. Remember, less than 28, we're kind of in that hard freeze. That's the one that really does damage, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's Marion County again, 21, 23, 29. Then we finally start to zigzag around. We will get another front there Thursday into Friday. That will bring another lighter freeze, not the really hard stuff that we're dealing with now. Baldwin Park, 25 tonight, there's 30. So go ahead and keep everything covered up through Monday, and then by Monday afternoon, you'll be able to take things off and let those plants get some sunlight. Here's your 7-day forecast. Weather alerts coming up, 25, 45, wind chills in the teens. In fact, it's going to feel like the 30s all afternoon, even though we're going to make it to around 45. A morning freeze on Monday, and I think more frost on Monday because even though the air is very dry, we'll recover a little bit of moisture and we won't have as much wind. A nice day early next week, and then we're getting another chance for some much needed rain by Thursday. So I'm closely watching the temperatures coming up here and the wind chills, and I'll see you coming up in just a few minutes.
Weather from Severe Weather Center 9 is brought to you by the law offices of attorney Dan Newland.
Our Severe Weather Team 9 coverage continues with how you should be preparing your car for the cold weather. Now, you may think you need to heat your engine, but what about if you have an electric car? Severe Weather Team 9's Jessica Salinas has more on the struggles owners of those cars are facing right now. Now, another thing to watch out for in extreme cold temperatures are the tires on your car. Channel 9 reached out to a local mechanic, and he told us that most people in the state don't have their tires ready for this type of weather. His best piece of advice is to slow down when you're on the roads this weekend.
Well, the age of the tire does make a difference. Rubber ages with time, whether you drive it or not. Tires will begin to dry out and get harder, and as they get harder, you have less grip.
The mechanic also told us that you need to drive your car a little bit in order to warm up the tires and allow them to regain grip. Make sure you drive carefully and give you and the other drivers you're driving with on the roadways plenty of extra room. And it's important to make sure that you take the right steps to care for your pool tonight as things get cold. See what experts say you should do to avoid headaches and financial burden.
Well, I have my pool running right now, and with all this wind and cold temperatures, it's a penetrating cold tonight. That's one of the factors we've been dealing with. I'm updating the latest wind chills for you.
Plus, the cold weather impacts some more than others, including those who have nowhere to go. Coming up, see how people are stepping up to help them in Seminole County.
Prescription drug prices are on the rise. For some, it's become a struggle to survive.
Healthcare is expensive.
Action 9's Jeff Deal reveals how to find deals on the drugs you need to stay alive. Live Monday at 5 on Eyewitness News.
Race fans, get ready. Experience the Daytona 500 live and be part of something legendary. This is where history is made, where every lap matters, where victory is career defining, and the energy inside Daytona is unlike anything else in sports. Fans from around the world come for this moment, and now you could be there. Enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to the Daytona 500, Sunday, February 15th. Visit WFTV.com to register now. Feel the power. Feel the passion. Feel it live at the Daytona 500.
Welcome back. The temperature drop has kicked in for the night, and we are tracking some really cold conditions that are spreading across Central Florida. As you can see here, tonight we have certified chief meteorologist Tom Terry with us. And Tom, I mean, things are cold, but it's the wind that's making things worse, right?
Yeah, you don't freeze anything with a wind chill, okay? So if it's 35 degrees, but it feels like 24, your pipes aren't going to freeze. But when it's going to get below freezing and you have the wind, that's kind of like a penetrating cold. And we'll be talking about that with your pools in a minute. But 19 in Ocala, 23 DeLand, and they base this, Q, on the what's called sustained wind at the top of the hour, not the wind gust. So you factor in 20-mile-an-hour wind or then 30-mile-an-hour gust, it feels colder. I'm chock full of good news tonight. Let me walk over here and show you right now. Daytona Beach, we have 34 degrees. You're on the edge of freezing here tonight, and we're dropping about a degree or so every hour, and it's going to just keep dropping all night long. By midnight, we're going to be very close to 32 throughout the area. The wind chills, of course, in the 20s, dropping into the teens by tomorrow morning. About 25 degrees, give or take a degree or so by daybreak. Very, very cold for us, and that's why we've been talking all week about this, and now we're finally here, right? Sunshine and a breezy day tomorrow, but not quite as gusty. And here are those wind gusts with a wind advisory. I saw them up to nearly 50 miles an hour today, and boy, the wind is what gets you, all right? So that's where you can have hypothermia, even frostbite set in. No joke. These are temperatures that we would normally see many states to the north, not way down here. Our wind chill again, 19, 23, 24. And as you start the day tomorrow, early warning future track showing between about 10 and 13 degrees. And this is again based on the kind of the average wind, if you will, at the top of the hour. But as you're outside, you'll get a little gust that will come through. Now, it won't be quite as gusty in the morning. It'll be more of just a sustained wind. And we had a few flurries. We'll have some video for you coming up here in the next 15 minutes. Just a little flurry came through earlier. Not much at all. Didn't expect much, but we do have the cold. We'll be talking about that, Q. Just stay warm.
There you go. Well, the cold weather could also spike your utility bill. A number of agencies across Central Florida gave Channel 9 advice on how to keep costs low. So here they are. The Kissimmee Utility Authority told us try to take advantage of natural light for warmth, turn off pool heaters, and try not to use hot water from 6 to 9 a.m. and p.m. And FP&L says that keeping heater temperatures low can make the biggest difference.
Set your thermostat to a comfortable temperature for your family, but remember, every degree below 68 can help you save up to 5% on heating.
And FP&L says if you plan on using space heaters and heating blankets, plug them directly into the wall and keep them away from flammable objects. FDOT is brining roads ahead of the cold, and we told you yesterday they don't have road salt here because of how things work out. So if a road ice is over, you may see it shut down a few lanes until the ice melts. If you have to drive this weekend, check your tire pressure before you leave and slow down in case you do hit some ice. Also, cold tires need to be warmed up before you hit the road, so keep that in mind as well because roads can be slippery. Now let's talk about protecting your pets. Central Florida shelters urge people to make sure all pets are indoors this weekend. You should only take them out for a short period of time. You may want to cover up the dog's paws as well because it is going to be cold out there on their feet. Their paws rather. If you drive somewhere, check under your car because some of those animals, especially those cats, they like to hide under cars when it's really cold outside to stay warm. Shelter workers in Orange and Brevard counties tell us they have specially heated kennels for dogs and cats. Lake County told us they're adjusting their routines and limiting the amount of time dogs spend outside. And Seminole County says they're doing what they can to keep animals comfortable.
And here at the shelter, we bring all the dogs inside. We give them extra fluffy blankets. The heaters, of course, come on definitely just to try to keep them warm, keep them safe, and just keep them as comfortable as we can while during this colder weather.
Yes, Seminole County says it's always accepting donations for blankets and comforters like the ones you see here, but the best thing you can do is head over there in Sanford and adopt an animal. Matthews Hope in West Orange County and Cocoa is set to send out its transport teams to pick up homeless men, women, and children today. It's just one of many efforts to get people out of the elements. Carl Lewis continues our severe weather coverage with a look at where else you can turn for help if you need a warm place to stay tonight. And for a full look at our Arctic blast coverage, just head over to our website, WFTV.com. There you'll find resources to stay warm, such as a list of cold weather shelters. You can also download our free WFTV app and our free weather app. They're both available right now in Google Play and the Apple App Store. New details we've learned: a former deputy accused of shooting his roommate may be heading to trial after a judge rejected a negotiated plea. Andrew Lawson, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter in 2022 for the shooting death of his friend and fellow deputy named Austin Walsh. The plea came with a maximum of 7 years behind bars. Walsh's family objected and the judge decided not to move forward. Lawson was given the option to withdraw his plea, and he did. A proposal is moving forward to create a Florida Museum of Black History in St. Johns County. Now, the Senate unanimously passed a similar bill during the 2025 session, but the House did not approve it. Lawmakers created a task force in 2023 to provide recommendations for a Black History Museum in Florida. The task force eventually recommended putting it in a site just west of St. Augustine. Other sites were also considered, including the town of Eatonville.
I don't think you could tell the story of Florida without also telling the story of Black Floridians. And so what this is going to be like is going to be a museum that celebrates the history of Black Floridians.
An identical House bill has not been heard as lawmakers end the third week of this year's 60-day legislative session. Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando is just steps away from opening its new shelter. Now this will need, they're still looking to raise another $350,000 to finish the project and support their animals in need. But the shelter will feature modern kennels, a catio, an air conditioning, as well as what Pet Alliance says is the largest shelter and medical unit in Florida. An update now on those ICE protests in Minneapolis, where demonstrators are speaking out against raids and deportations. ABC's Ike Jachi is in Minneapolis with how those events unfolded and what Homeland Security's Kristi Noem is saying about them now. President Trump has made his pick for the next person to lead the Federal Reserve. He wants former Fed member Kevin Warsh to take over as chair. Current chair Jerome Powell's term ends in May, and the president has repeatedly criticized Powell over refusing to lower interest rates. Warsh would have to be approved by the Senate. President Trump is threatening military action against Iran as Tehran warns of immediate retaliation. And this comes as human rights groups report over 6,000 deaths in Iran's recent crackdown on protesters. Meanwhile, we're tracking the armada of warships heading to the region as the U.S. military presence surges to 50,000 troops. Don't let the freeze total your pool pump. Up next, we're showing you what you need to do to make sure that you have no issues with your pool during this cold snap.
Sky Witness 9 on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, bringing you closer to the scene during live breaking news. Sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Severe Weather Team 9 is keeping you prepared for the record cold, including how to prevent thousands of dollars of damage happening to your pool. As Channel 9's Ashley Webb reports from Orlando, she got some expert advice you need to hear about why running your pool pump is the best way to make sure you don't have costly repairs to make. And here are some more details on pool maintenance during these extreme cold temperatures. Some people think that by simply turning on the pool heater, if you have one, this will stop the pool pipes from freezing. Well, experts say that may be true, but it's not a foolproof solution. You need to take into account your heater's efficiency as well as how big your pool is, because the pipes with bigger pools may still freeze. Something also to take into account is that heating the pool constantly could take a bigger toll on your wallet as well, so just turn the pool pump on. What's not ideal in colder weather? Well, a golf tournament at Lake Nona Country Club is set to host the final 2 rounds of the LPGA Tour of Champions this weekend. But because of the expected frost on the course, only 60 golfers will play in the final 18 holes instead of the usual 90. Now, this week's cold snap is perfect timing for outdoor hockey in Florida. The Tampa Bay Lightning will host the Boston Bruins at Raymond James Stadium tomorrow for the NHL Stadium Series. Crews have been hard at work setting up the rink. As you can see here, this is the second outdoor game ever in the Sunshine State, and the chilly temps are going to make it feel really special. All right, well, take a look at this. This might be light, but we have actual snow here in Central Florida.
They are.
Yeah, you can see that looks like snowflakes to me. Now, these videos were just sent in to us from our friends on Facebook. A number of viewers recorded what they saw outside and sent them in to us. And these are flurries that are happening around our area as temperatures are expected to plummet overnight into the 20s. It's a historic night for the Sunshine State. And tonight we have certified chief meteorologist Tom Terry with us. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen snow, period.
Yeah, well, flurries, and yeah, you're not going to be making any snowmen, sleetmen, or anything with that. But it is a novelty to have it down here. And again, once a decade or more, we'll have a setup like this. And we're going to be talking more about it. We're going to see any more of these snow flurries, and we're still watching that mercury drop fast. I'll see you coming up in 15 seconds.
The way to screw up your case is to have a lawyer who doesn't sincerely care about you. Because a lawyer who cares is going to do everything he can to make sure that you get everything you're entitled to. It doesn't get more fairer than that.
Yeah, I stepped outside to come into work and it was cold, so I went back inside and grabbed my quarter zip, and that's what we're sticking with today. So flurries earlier today. This is when the cold air was just arriving, and you can kind of see snow is really hard to pick on radar anyway. It's very low reflectivity, so you don't get much to see, and there's not much to see out there now because the clouds are pretty much gone. So I think our flurries are going to be hard to find the rest of the night. If you do have anyone over in the Tampa area, though, they can still get a few flurries. You still see the low clouds through here. here. But I think overall we've just about been through all the snow we're going to get here. Downtown Orlando, no flurries, but 35 degrees. The dew point's dropping, so it is really going to be dry, dry, dry. So if you are like me, I get chapped skin really easily this time of the year, and my lips are chapped, and we're all going through. It's really dry. 31, 33, 32. Started to freeze. We're dropping about a degree or degree and a half per hour. So by midnight, we'll be close to freezing and still dropping. Wind chills, of course, much lower than that. About 25 at daybreak, mid 40s, give or take in the afternoon. We'll have some sunshine. It won't be quite as windy either, but it is still gusty right now. 35-mile-an-hour wind. It was nearly 50 earlier today, and that's giving us some brutal wind chills. Now, again, these wind chills are based on the sustained wind, which is about 20 miles an hour, not 35 wind gusts. So it's going to feel colder at times, but again, the winds will be fairly steady by daybreak, just cold throughout the area. An extreme cold warning. This used to be called a wind chill warning. They changed the name around, but it's the same thing. But this is so rare. This is about once every 15 years or so we'll get wind chills like this. So what to do the rest of the night? Hopefully you've got your pool running. I started mine. If you have the little black tubes on your roof, I'm running the water through those tubes to keep them from freezing up tonight. Before you go to bed, just turn on the faucet in the back of the house. You don't really have to open up the cabinets unless you have some cabinets right up against the exterior wall and you're in a mobile home or something like that. Just trying to let more warm air down there for the pipes, you're fine. You're good. Cover up your water softener. If you haven't done that already, just throw a blanket over it because it can freeze up as well. Lake Eola, beautiful, cold start in the morning. We're back in the mid-40s tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow will set a record not only for a morning low, but also for a cold daytime high temperature. We don't do many of those. And for Monday morning, a second night of cold, not quite as cold, and the dew points are really low now. That will limit the amount of frost, but we will still likely have some frost to deal with there. And you can see how cold it is up in Ocala. You've got 3 more freezing nights after, well, of course, including tonight. Next week, another potential light freeze will be Friday morning. 7-day forecast, weekend always in view. So our weather alert days, we talked for a whole week about this, and here we are right in the middle of it. Morning wind chills in the teens, a morning freeze again on Monday, and then a chance for some rain. We could use some after all this dryness on Thursday. We'll be right back.
It might cost you more if you're flying out of Orlando International Airport this weekend without a key piece of identification. We're talking about a real ID. Starting tomorrow, TSA says they'll be fining travelers $45 if they don't have one. So I went over to OIA yesterday to check things out. Now, TSA tells me non-compliant travelers will be moved to a separate lane so they don't slow down the main lines. And if you want to avoid that cash hit, just bring a passport or get that gold star from the DMV. All right, well, supporters of recreational marijuana now have a better idea of how close they are to actually having it on this year's election. A judge ruled that the Florida Division of Election have to reflect the number of petition signatures for a proposed recreational marijuana constitutional amendment. This comes after supporters of the amendment filed lawsuit accusing the office of not showing the accurate numbers of ballots. The amendment needs at least 880,062 signatures to be on the ballot in November, and so far it has more than 760,000 signatures. Well, thank you for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock. For more weather, make the switch right now to Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 11.